Thank you, President Woodruff. Good morning. I'd like to start with some thanks to outreach by our colleagues, our local partners, but also some well-established associations, the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police, the International Chiefs of Police, the International Association of Campus Law Enforcement Administrators, and the Commission Agency on Law Enforcement Accreditation. We have all received your support, prayers, and thanks, and very well valued. So thank you for that. In addition to that, I decided to focus on some positive things that have been shared with me over the past couple of days with that. In helping us in our response to this critical incident, we had approximately 19 law enforcement agencies and 6 fire departments, numerous emergency medical services as well respond to that. We had off-duty police officers, not only from our police department, but from local and partnering agencies that responded, that came without a request to help during that particular situation. Not a surprise, though. What occurred on Monday night as far as our response is a collaborative effort and is the product of constant and continuous training together, relationships, and preparation for that. We also, unfortunately, had an opportunity to respond last week to Okemos High School with a very similar result. The difference is that was not confirmed and it was ruled to be false. So just imagine the stress put on the first responders responding to a situation at Okemos High School that we take very seriously until otherwise notified. And then just a few days later, responding to this incident here. We have to recover too. We have to heal. That process has begun as well. We've made services available for our staff, our police and public safety staff, beginning today. We also have short-term plans as well as long-term plans as we move forward for this. And we are definitely consulting those that have been through this process before for that particular reason. Learned a few amazing things. And again, not surprising, just knowing what has occurred and who's involved. Our students that were in Berkey Hall, in addition to being placed in situations that they probably have never been encountered with before, when their students and their friends and classmates needed assistance, they rendered aid. They took the time to render aid with that. The officers that responded and were in the buildings within minutes, one of the first things they encountered were the victims. Those victims happened to be our students. And they stopped to render aid and immediately got emergency medical services on scene to remove them so that they could get the treatment and the care that they needed. Those are significant because they gave them a chance, those that had been wounded. And they're still fighting. But based on those being present at the time, stopping to actually render aid to them. The dispatchers. Dispatch function is a very key component to what we do, our response. And if any of you have heard any of the radio traffic that happened that night, it's amazing. They were calm, they prioritized, they communicated well, they did their job. They did their job extremely well, extremely well. My point in this is to say that it's not based on an individual. We all have roles. When it comes time to actually do what you've been trained to do, that happened. And there's a caring component as well. Some very selfless in stopping to assist when they could have easily have just run out of the building themselves. And there was nothing wrong with that at all. That's part of how they're actually trained. our students, they have the opportunity to receive that training and run, hide, fight. And unfortunately, some of them during their high school years, middle school years, think about the generation that's here now, they've had to go through that. They've had to go through that. So I found that positive to be able to communicate that with that. Those are some stories that need to be discussed as well. And hopefully that is actually what takes place, which some has already done that, but I think we needed to take a moment to actually state that, the appreciation for that. So what we will hear now will be updates in addition to the Michigan State University Police and Public Safety representative that's here. We will also have Lansing Police Department, Michigan State Police, as well as the FBI come with updates. And again, we appreciate your presence here with that. Deputy Chief Roswell.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chief. I want to begin by, again, honoring the victims, our students. As a father, I cannot imagine what all the families continue to go through. The past few days have been so unbelievably difficult for our officers and our community, and we continue to mourn with our community and start the healing process. The vigil last night was unbelievable, the turnout. We want to thank our Michigan State Police partners for providing security at that event, so our MSU police officers could attend and be with our community and mourn together. And that event truly was unbelievable how many people came from all over the country for that event. I'm going to start with some brief updates, and then I'm going to hand it off to some of our law enforcement partners that are here today to offer additional details. We've received questions about the ages of the deceased students, and those are as follows. Ariel Anderson was 19 years old. Brian Frazier was 20 years old. And Alexandria Werner was also 20 years old. We were present yesterday when they were recognized in the chamber of the Michigan House of Representatives, and that was a very moving experience as well. As the president mentioned, the 5 students in the hospital remain in critical condition. Out of respect for the families, we will not be releasing the names of the victims in the hospital. We do understand that some of those names have been made public by family and friends, but we feel strongly about not confirming their names out of respect for the families, and we hope you understand. So even though MSU Police and Public Safety is the lead agency in charge of this investigation, the investigation is very complex. It's bifurcated and involves many different agencies. Different parts of that investigation are being handled by different agencies in a very unified and coordinated effort. That unified cooperation between all of the agencies involved and the resources that have been deployed to campus from all over the country, it is impressive. I'll share a few brief updates regarding the investigation, and some of our partners that are here today will elaborate on some of these details as well. We can confirm that the shooter had 2 handguns on his person when he was located. Those handguns are both 9mm. He also had additional magazines and ammunition on his person. Our investigative team did work with our federal ATF partners to trace those weapons, and we have learned that they were purchased legally by the shooter, but they were not registered. We can also confirm that a note was found on the shooter, and the location that the shooter was located was roughly 3.8 miles northwest of campus. As I said, the Michigan State Police is here today, and they will share additional information about that shooting scene. We want to thank all of our local, county, state, and federal partners for all of their assistance that they've provided throughout this investigation. The investigative assistance that we've received after the initial incident has been absolutely overwhelming as well. As the interim president said, we'd also like to thank the media for being active partners throughout this investigation. Your ability to share our information while understanding the sensitive nature and having compassion for the families is very much appreciated. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Renee Gonzalez from the Michigan State Police. We will be available for questions at the end. Renee?
Thank you, Deputy Chief Rosman. Information I'm going to give out is dealing with the contact that LPD, MSP, and our state security officers had contact with the shooter at Lake Lansing and Larch Road. Our detectives responded to Lake Lansing Road and Larch Street, where a subject matching the MSU's shooting suspect, Anthony McRae, was observed walking. What had happened is the LPD officers received a call that subject matching that description was walking down the street, and this was on Lake Lansing Road near Larch Street, city of Lansing. Officers made contact, two LPD officers made contact with the shooter, approximately 20 feet from McRae. They exited their vehicle, ordered him to show his hands. However, he produced a weapon and then killed himself. It does appear that from the body-worn camera that McRae did not verbalize anything to the officers prior to him shooting himself or taking his own life. Once they had waited for two additional state security officers to arrive on scene, they walked up to the shooter who was laying on the ground, cleared the scene for their safety, and then started life-saving efforts on him. However, he was declared deceased at the scene. After that, two other state troopers also showed up on scene. Our detectives arrived on scene. They conducted interviews with the officers on scene, photographed the area, downloaded body-worn cameras, in-car videos, and did round counts for all the officers to ensure that no rounds were fired. On scene again were two troopers, two Capitol Security officers, two Lansing Township PD officers, and also two LPD officers. Search was done after the scene was secure of McRae's residence with a search warrant that was authored by MSU PD along with LPD. At the residence, a cell phone was collected, journals of sorts, miscellaneous writings, and fired 9mm casings. McRae's father was also interviewed on scene by the MSP detectives at the Lansing Operations Building. Once a search of the residence was completed, detectives began a surveillance canvass to attempt to track the shooters once he cleared the MSU campus until he made contact with the LPD officers. They were able to track his journey from the MSU campus to where he was made contact. They are conducting additional surveillance canvases to see if we can find anything else on where he might have been. Detectives are also assisting with downloading information from McRae's phone, following up on CATA, as two additional bus tickets were found in his possession. Found on McRae were two handguns, the one he shot himself with and another in his backpack that he was carrying. He also had a loaded magazine that was full to capacity in his left breast pocket. In the backpack, he had 8 loaded magazines of 9mm ammunition, along with a pencil-sized pouch containing 50 rounds of loose 9mm ammunition. He also had 2 empty magazines on his person as well. 2 pages of notes were found in his wallet, which was on his person as well. Those are that was the note that indicated where he was going to visit, and also kind of gave an indication of why he, maybe a motive, but nothing that we can actually confirm just yet. The investigation is ongoing, and at this time, we believe that there were no other subjects involved, and McRae was the lone shooter in this incident. I'll now turn it over to Chief Sosby.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ellery Sosby. I'm the Chief of Police in Lansing. I'm going to start by saying that the Lansing Police Department, through Mayor Shore's office, is assisting in this investigation as much as possible to make sure that we have complete closure in this incident. I want to start by giving my condolences to the family of the victims of this tragic incident. Being a father of a son who is recently accepted to this great university, I can't even imagine the pain that the families are feeling right now. I want to thank the officers who responded without pause to this critical incident. Many of those, as has been mentioned before, were off duty and dropped everything they were doing to come assist to make sure that there were no more losses of life and to prevent this tragedy from getting any larger. I want to thank the citizens who, along with the media's help, saw something and said something. Without them, we may not be in this position here today. I'd like to clear up just a few things, a few topics of misinformation that we have been asked about either the accused McRae or the address, the Lansing address on House Street in the city of Lansing. LPD has not responded to any welfare checks for Anthony McRae. There was a welfare check at the address on House Street on February 5th, but was not related to the accused. And LPD has not been called in any way to any shots fired at this address. The call history for the accused in this situation is very limited, but I will share this with you now to hopefully avoid any questions in the future. Starting back in 2005, McRae was contacted for a larceny complaint by the Lansing Police Department. 2006, a traffic violation. 2007, a traffic violation. 2007 again, another traffic violation. And in 2019, he was arrested by the Lansing Police Department for a CCW, which is a carrying a concealed weapon, which he was arrested for. And for that case, that weapon is still in Lansing Police Department custody. As the lieutenant shared, 2 Lansing police officers made contact with the accused in approximately the 800 block of Lake Lansing Road. And the accused was contacted. He produced a handgun and ended his own life. I cannot commend the officers enough for their actions, and I'll be open for questions here at the end, but for now I'm going to turn it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, James Haraska.
Good morning. I will start off by thanking the press as well. Over the last few days, I've gotten to know quite a few of you as we just talk offline and actually socialize while this event continues. So to all you, thank you. You've been very supportive, and I appreciate that. So do our folks. So today at Berkey Hall, we'll continue meeting with students and staff to return their personal items that were left behind. So that process essentially will begin at 10, and the students can show up. They will meet with our victim specialists and agents, and not only will they be able to get their items back, they'll be able to meet with our victim specialists for mental health support, not just FBI, and we've flown victim specialists in from around the country. MSU has provided victim services as well. Victim specialists are there to meet with the students. The U.S. Attorney's Office, Western District of Michigan, is represented, HSI is also represented. So we have a great cadre of mental health professionals there to support the students. We did the same at Union yesterday. I would consider it a success in that the students did want to sit with our folks and talk. Along those lines, I want to thank the community, especially those who brought comfort dogs yesterday. It went a long way. It meant a lot to the students and our folks as well. The comfort dogs, they bring a lot. So thank you to everybody that took the time to do that. The property that will return to them, essentially, it's a pretty easy process. They'll identify what's theirs, we'll return it. For those students that don't want to be there, don't want to go in that building, that's fine. Just understand, you don't have to do that. We will get your property to you. You can come, not go in the building, talk to our folks, and they'll get it to you. Or after today, everything that's left over, everything that remains that hasn't been collected, will be turned over to MSU Police Department so they can coordinate and facilitate getting those items back to you. Yesterday, about 80% of the students and staff's items were returned. We're left, I believe the number is about 18 students that did not pick up their things for certain reasons, whether they couldn't make it or just didn't want to. We have those items today at Berkey. So for those students that didn't make it yesterday, they can go to Berkey. And again, after today, they can reach out directly to MSU as we start to wrap up. Again, the community outpouring has been amazing through food and just thank yous and handshakes. And that's very, very much appreciated. It goes a long way with all our folks and the whole community here. I do want to thank Governor Whitmer and Congresswoman Slotkin for their ongoing support. They've been obviously extremely supportive. They were here at the press conference the other day. And the Congresswoman is, I believe, going to do a site visit today to meet with our folks and the students as well. So we look forward to hosting her. Even after today, the FBI will continue supporting the families of Alex, Ariel, and Brian. It doesn't stop today. Those services we provide, the support we provide will continue. We've met with those families and we've began to build a relationship with them. So we will be there for them along with all our partners. They have our full support. For the students that remain in the hospital, same thing. They will have the full support of all of the FBI and all the partners here. I just want to mention a number for the United Way for additional mental health support for anybody listening that would like to utilize that, 211. If you dial 211, you can get support. So that's just another outlet. There's a lot of resources, so please, for everybody, the students, faculty, the community, there's plenty of resources to help you and help the community recover.